All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBF Junior Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Joplin, Missouri, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, ladies and gentlemen, on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with white and green trim, fighting out of Mira Loma, California, by way of his home in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. He weighed in at the junior middleweight limit of 154 pounds even. His record stands at 22 wins, 4 losses, 6 draws, with 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, he is ranked the number 15 junior middleweight contender in the world by the IBF, introducing Carlos El Elegante Bojorquez. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner in this 12-round championship attraction, wearing black trunks with white trim, fighting out of Denver, Colorado. He weighed in at already 153 1/2 pounds. His record stands at 37 wins, 9 losses, and 1 draw, with 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former WBO and WBU junior middleweight world champion, currently ranked the IBF number 2 contender in the world, introducing Verno Phillips. Once again, a referee in charge now to give instructions, Mark Nelson.
These are too high, okay? Bring them down to here. Verno, Carlos, you've already received your instructions in the dressing room for the IBF Junior Middleweight title. You know exactly what I expect. A clean championship fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Well, the prize here is the vacant IBF Junior Middleweight belt, previously owned by Winky Wright, stripped of the title. For the record of Phillips, 19 knockouts, only 1 in the first. However, it happened in his last fight. As for Carlos Bojorquez, 3 of his 18 knockouts have come in the opening round. The last time he did it almost 3 years ago.
And in this fight, the first several rounds are very, very important. For Bojorquez, he had very little time to train, even though he was in decent shape and was near the weight. So he wants to win this fight in the early rounds. Has predicted he'll win it within 4. And so for him, these are important rounds. And for Phillips, important because he knows Bojorquez is going to be looking to get him out of there.
Phillips starts it off with a wide left hook upstairs. Bojorquez had only a week rest after his last fight, which was on the undercard of Vitaly Klitschko versus Corey Sanders at Staples Center in Los Angeles, a 4th-round knockout over veteran Ron Weaver. Bojorquez said he will do to Phillips what he did to Pernell Whitaker, send him into retirement. He insists he will KO Phillips, especially if Verno stands in front of him. And while Phillips' original opponent, Kasim Uma, is a southpaw, Bojorquez fights orthodox, as you can readily see. You would think Phillips really has to switch gears in his approach to this late change, but does he really? As you pointed out earlier, Phillips is versatile. He can fight inside or box outside.
He really can, and I suggested McKee's that inside might very well be his ticket. However, don't be surprised if, as we're seeing in round 1, if Verno has enough lateral movement and enough ability to make Bojorquez miss to win this fight on the outside. I just don't know if early in this fight on the outside he wouldn't be hit with something in long range by Bojorquez. We'll see.
Verno Phillips in the black trunks with the white trim. And the red, green, and white is late replacement Carlos Bojorquez, who said a big key tonight is to be patient and fight intelligently if he gets Phillips hurt. Can't waste punches and exhaust himself like he did against Uma. Once he had Uma in trouble in the early going there, round 2. He ultimately lost by an 8th-round TKO on a cut.
despite the height and reach disadvantage, it's Verno Phillips who's getting there first with his jab and with those punches from long range. So his jab is really a major story here in this first round.
Phillips, a crowd-pleasing veteran. Aggressive style, keeps that fast pace, very workmanlike. Tough and durable, somewhat awkward. Stopped only once in his 5th pro fight in '88. He punches accurately and very, very experienced against very good opposition.
The right hand by Phillips. So he's finding a way from the outside to get those punches in. Bojorquez just a little slow here. And, you know, let's take into account, you take a fight on 4 days' notice. You haven't been sparring as much. Even though you're staying in shape in the gym, you didn't get serious sparring for this, so it could be rusty early. Great first round, though, for Verno Phillips. This is the way he wanted it to go.
Very busy. Keeping Bojorquez moving. Trying to slow him down as we hit the final seconds of round 1, scheduled for 12 with a vacant IBF junior middleweight belt.
Good work. Good work. Okay? Hey, rhythm, you're flowing beautiful. Okay, you're fighting the fight you want to fight. Hey, your overhand is there all the way. I want you to bring it from there. Okay, bring it over his shoulder. Over his shoulder, not your shoulder. I don't want a long loopy overhand. I want it short and tight. Bring it over his shoulder, follow with the left uppercut, okay? Finish with your jab. Let's get right back to that jab. Deep breath right now. Keep doing your thing, B. Look at me. Keep doing that thing. Keep them feet in position when you pull it.
Verno Phillips won the battle of the jab in the first round, using it effectively. There it is. And look, giving lateral movement to Carlos Bojorquez. And this confounded Bojorquez. Then on the inside, he'd get in, he'd get out. That's very good boxing by Verno Phillips. And, you know, Trevor Whitman gave him great advice in that corner. The overhand right is a punch that can land for him if he throws it not too wide.
Out of about 70 fights, Trevor Whitman has been a trainer. Only 4 losses, but 2 of them to guess who? Kasim Uma. So he really wanted revenge tonight, but that went out the window with Uma's injury. He's 6-1 all told, guiding the career of Verno Phillips.
And, you know, it's not every fighter that gives his manager a kiss just before the bell rings, but Verno kissed his wife, Amy, who is his manager. Right. A number of boxers have their wives as managers now. Johnny Cappy, I think Jamil McCline, so it's a trend in boxing.
Round 2 scheduled for 12. Bojorquez trying to utilize those long arms instead of left-right combination of the head by Verno Phillips, who continues to have his way. Another good shot by Phillips in command.
Carlos Bojorquez has just looked a little slow in this fight. And, you know, Verno Phillips, some people thought he was shot 10 years ago. Really. And then he had the prison stay. Then he lost to Uma in a fight he took on short notice after a 15-month layoff, and still fought very well. People thought he was a guy that was through. He won 6 straight fights against tough people. This is the way he's been fighting.
Well, we called him rejuvenated earlier, and perhaps because of those 2 long layoffs, he is rejuvenated and refreshed and able to regroup. It's unfortunate, though, the reason for one of them. But
Phillips getting in, getting out, landing punches, not allowing Bojorquez to get to him. Carlos is starting to find a little bit of a rhythm with that jab, but he's taking some big shots like that left hook control.
That one he's able to block Bojorquez. You just can't let Phillips dictate or set the pace. You have to keep pressure on Phillips. Phillips missing with that whistling right. That's what Uma did to win against Phillips. Kept the pressure on with no let up against a guy like Phillips who likes to bring it. Bojorquez has to pick up the pace. Should go to the body, too. Take the steam out of Phillips.
Right now, the difference in this fight is hand speed. Phillips is much quicker than Carlos Bojorquez. Now, they're on the end of the punches. When he's on the end of the punches, sometimes Bojorquez can land a good right hand. But look at how they've closed distance now. This is now really helping Verno Phillips because Bojorquez's punches on the inside are less effective.
In 32 pro fights, Bojorquez KO'd twice. Phillips towards the end of round 2. Flurry by Phillips, who scores at will. Our translator, Seymour Civic.
Está todo bien, nomás no estás tirando a la derecha.
You gotta throw rights.
Sí, yo sé, pero lo tienes a modo, güey. Lo tienes a modo y no se la estás tirando.
You gotta keep throwing.
Ponte más inteligente.
Fight more intelligent. Fight more intelligent.
Cuando te estás contragolpeando, bájate y tiras la derecha abajo. Abajo.
Go to the body.
Le estás dejando toda la iniciativa.
Go to the body.
Verno Phillips in round 2 picked up the pace even more, throwing those left hooks and right to the body. There's the overhand right that Trevor Whitman had asked for, and it was a pretty compact punch. That's the right hand you see getting over the top of Bojorquez, and I think as the fight goes on, that'll be a more important weapon.
You know, it's not very often when I'm right when it comes to strategy, but Willie Silva actually said what I said.
He was listening. You have a little transmitter right into his ear.
Goodness, that is so rare.
I was actually right. It's happened, twice.
At least. But that has nothing to do with boxing. We were talking about lunch. Round 3 scheduled for 12. Verno Phillips in the black. Carlos Bojorquez in the red, green, and white. Bojorquez having his difficulty in the first 2 rounds. Verno Phillips has been in command. There's another left hook to the head by Phillips, and those are scoring all the time with regularity.
You know, at his best, Carlos, when he's really ready to fight and when he's in against somebody exactly on his level, at his best, he's a fighter who from long range can peck away and land a big shot like the right hand. But at his worst, looks a little statue-like in there. He's not the quickest fighter, and right now, Phillips is making him look like a statue.
Got it. Okay.
Look out, Bojorquez all of a sudden coming alive. He had Phillips off balance momentarily, but Phillips comes right back and bashes him with an overhand right to the head. Boy, the quickness of Phillips very evident, as you pointed out. The speed, a big difference here.
You know, I did many of Verno Phillips' fights in the mid-90s when he had the WBO championship, and I'm going to tell you something interesting. He's a more diversified fighter now than he was back then. I think maturity has helped him. Trevor Whitman has worked with him very well. He has a bigger arsenal of punches. He's just a more diversified fighter.
Remember who he beat in '93 for the WBO title? Lupe Aquino.
Great fight.
Yeah, he's beaten 4 former world champions. There's a left hook to the jaw. Wide open was Carlos Bojorquez. Also beat Gianfranco Rossi, Julio Cesar Vasquez, and Julian Jackson.
Yeah. Rossi, a very tough man to fight. Maybe the most awkward fighter I've ever seen in boxing. But
he had 2 fights with Rossi, and he lost the first, won the second.
Yeah, those were very difficult fights because it's so awkward and tough to fight.
There's another left hook, hard left hook to the chin by Verno Phillips.
Both men doing good work to the body as well, especially Phillips. Of course, we're closing in on round 4 when Bojorquez predicted by then he would have Phillips out of there. And he didn't say, I want to get him out in 4. He actually said to us, I need to get him out by 4.
He did say the word need. The Rasheed Wallace of boxing guaranteeing
the bell.
Victory. Look out, Bojorquez wobbly. Amy, the manager, wife of Verno Phillips, likes what she sees.
Rhythm. Again, I want 2 and 3s. Okay? Stay 2 and 3s. On your jab, I want you to stay behind that shoulder. Don't stand in front, step straight towards the little jab. You're going to run into a right. Okay? When you're jabbing, keep going left. Keep going left. Okay, 2s and 3s. Keep the motion. You're confusing them right now. 2 more rounds, you're going to fall apart. Okay? Sure. Good.
Keep that movement, V. Keep that movement.
Keep that. Okay, finish with the jab. No more pulling out. Okay? And when you're pulling out, he comes here. Set that foot and shoot, bro.
Big breath.
Okay?
Big breath, V. Come on.
No more so much straight back.
Keep it going.
One step back and shoot.
Keep it going, V. Big breath. Come on. Get that in.
Verno Phillips has gone downstairs in this match. Look at how he uses the jab to get inside. And that's just very effective boxing. And then says, 3 punches I landed, that's good. I'll use the lateral movement now. That in microcosm is what Phillips has done in this fight.
Carlos Bojorquez out looked very shaky as he was making his way back to the stool in his corner between rounds. It's round 4, scheduled for 12 for the IBF junior middleweight title. Left-right combination. Upstairs by Verno Phillips. Both punches getting in. Oh, what a right hand. A sneaky right. Another overhand right by Phillips. And Bojorquez has no answers.
Bojorquez is throwing his right hand so wide that there's just no chance of it landing. It's such a wide punch and it's coming so slow that Phillips has no problem getting out of the way.
2 things. He's got to straighten out those punches, obviously, and go to the body like Willie Silva said, his trainer, but Verno Phillips smothering Bojorquez now.
This also is the charm of Carlos Bojorquez, though. He's been nailed with 3 great left hooks. He's still coming forward, so he's a very game, tough guy. We know that, but he's taking a lot of punishment right now.
He is. He does have excellent stamina. He's in great condition, but as you can see, he does have some holes defensively. Lunging right hand off balance, coming this way off the ropes, and manages to keep on his feet. He is game, isn't he? El Elegante in the red.
Bojorquez is pawing with the jab, not throwing it with any conviction, and not able to move in behind it as much as he would like.
Wild swings and misses by Bojorquez. Phillips defensively just too sharp. Eluding those roundhouse attempts. Too wide. Phillips trying the left uppercut that missed.
I got it.
Showing us his entire repertoire here. Verno Phillips. And successful thus far.
In this round, Phillips has been just a little less active, but probably still certainly winning the round because he's landed so many good power punches. And now he switches to lefty, which he has been known to do on occasion. And by the way, I believe that he faced Uma tonight. Phillips would have switched to lefty numerous times during this fight.
May have been a quick clash of heads there. Bojorquez in trouble here. And he comes right back with a left hook for himself. Boy, he is one tough guy, Carlos Bojorquez. Although he is losing big.
What makes him dangerous, Bojorquez, he's got 18 knockouts out of 22 fights. He's got lots of power, and the longer he stays in there, even though these later rounds are going to be difficult for him, he's always winging punches, and he remains dangerous.
Siéntate. Sit down. ¿Cómo te sientes? How do you feel? He's okay.
Accidental butt.
Yeah. Little bit cut.
How's it going? Okay?
Tenemos que tirar todo.
Verno Phillips began the round quickly, as he has several of the others, feinting with the jab and letting that be a way to help him land the overhand right and the left hooks. Bojorquez was showing not such great balance, and that left hook pushed him back against the ropes. Balance an issue from time to time. Here's a lefty. Phillips and Bojorquez clash heads. It didn't cause any terrible damage as it did in our first fight this evening.
Well, if Bojorquez is showing anything, he's displaying that he's a very durable fighter. Number of shots have landed flush on his face and body, but slow to respond to the solid left shots by Phillips. Can't catch up to Phillips, who's scoring with those lefts and then moving away.
And round 4 has come and gone, and the knockout that Carlos Bojorquez felt he needed that chance has gone. Now let's see how well he can do as these rounds continue. Again, a reminder, he took this fight on 4 days' notice. He was only a couple pounds over the weight, but he fought a little over a month ago. How much, though, could he have been prepared to go a long ways in this bout? We'll find out.
Again, the quickness, the hand speed of Verno Phillips. Again, big right to finish that flurry by Phillips.
No, don't turn around.
The hardcore boxing observers that have had a chance to see a number of these recent fights that Verno Phillips has had against the good competition like Flores and Lerma and McCart have all come away impressed. They say his technique is better than it was before. He's fighting with great discipline, and we are seeing that in evidence here tonight.
Verno Phillips, in essence, able to reinvent himself.
Yeah, he really did that in every conceivable way.
Yeah, another left hook to the jaw area by Phillips, scoring cleanly and no comeback, no response. Another left hook up to the chin. Well, that left hook has been a gold mine for Verno Phillips this evening here in Joplin, Missouri. Fighting off the ropes and successfully, Verno Phillips. Generally not where you want to be, but he's so confident right here. Remember George Chuvalo? Kind of reminds you, Bojorquez, a human punching bag.
Well, he's taking a lot of shots today, that's for sure. And normally he's a little bit better defensively. I won't say that he's the greatest defensive fighter that has ever come down the pike, but normally a bit better. But Verno Phillips, on another level, a former champion, ranked higher in the division and fighting as well as he can fight. So when you put all that together and the short notice for Bojorquez, this has turned into kind of a nightmarish evening so far for Carlos.
I realize Bojorquez is not Kasim Uma. Do you think perhaps in the mind of Phillips right now he's saying, man, why couldn't Uma be in there tonight? I mean, it's so good.
The way he's fighting, yeah, he felt very prepared for this fight.
Here comes the bell.
Time!
Seymour Zivik will help us out.
Okay. ¿Eh? Tienes que tirar el golpe.
You're taking a lot of punches.
All right. You're going to have to keep defending yourself, all right? Keep defending yourself. Start punching, okay? All right. Got to keep active, bro. Want to continue? Yes, yes, yes. Keep tight shots. Start tight. Then turn them. Okay? Start with speed, baby. Then turn them.
Sometimes a prelude to a stoppage when a referee comes in and says to you, keep defending yourself and start punching. Those are the words to Carlos Bojorquez. He's just getting hit too cleanly, and his punches are not reaching Phillips.
But he is attacking. That's why it would be premature to stop this fight right now, because Bojorquez continues to attack. And while he does that, it's pretty tough to stop this fight. But he is being nailed with punches, and I think if he does go against the ropes and he's in trouble, they might think about it.
Minnesota's Mark Nelson, the third man in the ring, looking very closely at Bojorquez. Bojorquez, though, continues to be courageous. Flailing, though. And now some clowning around by Phillips.
Unlike Verno Phillips, that is a little bit out of character for him, but boy, he's having his way in there.
Continues to land, flush. Crowd getting into it.
He's kind of luring Bojorquez in so he can counterpunch him right now.
Oh, what a left hand up to the top by Phillips.
You know, the right hook, overhand right has been a major story in this fight, but in the last round or so, he has started to land some hooks as well.
The only thing that's keeping Bojorquez going is a lot of will, a lot of resolve, and he's in great condition. That's what's allowing him to stay on his feet.
And the big difference in this match is Bojorquez has been primarily a one-punch artist, but Phillips Phillips has thrown some great combinations in this fight.
And while Phillips was more effective and harder puncher than Uma in their fight, not a particularly heavy puncher, but sure getting the punches in volume. Tremendous work ethic.
Watch your heads.
We approach the final minute of round 6, scheduled for 12. Bojorquez has the will, just not the speed. They say in boxing, speed kills, and that's Verno Phillips tonight.
Look at that 4-punch combination. Everything didn't land, but there was a variety of punches there. 2 body shots, an uppercut to the head. And now Phillips, his body work is making a big difference right now. Look, that body shot hurt Bojorquez.
Yeah, he's wobbly now as he hangs on for really the first time all night. And that tells you something about the courage of that young man. Now he's really losing a lot of power and steam, energy. You can see he's just tripping over Phillips' feet. And this one may not last much longer. Mark Nelson looking very closely. Nothing being offered back by Bojorquez.
If Phillips keeps going to the body, he'll end this fight. If not in this round, in the next one.
One shot to the solar plexus could end it right here. And there it is. Down he goes at the bell.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, baby. Yeah.
Boy, that's a gutsy guy. Fighter can't be saved those bell in any round. He made it.
We're stopping it.
I think that's going to do it, though, Al. Yep, that's it. Mark Nelson stopping the fight. And Verno Phillips is your new champion.
It is true that Carlos Bojorquez is the 15th ranked fighter, that he came in here on very short notice. And it's true that that man, Verno Phillips, didn't fight Kasim Uma, one of the top contender in the IBF, but his performance was technically sound. He looked spectacular.
He really has to be pleased. Terrific job.
It's making my mouth water to see Phillips and Uma, which we were hoping to see tonight. We will see it because now he'll have to defend this IBF title against Uma.
Right now, the plans are for Phillips to fight Kasim Uma again in December. Obviously dejected Carlos Bojorquez gave it all he could under the very difficult circumstances.
Classy guy, Carlos Bojorquez.
Yes,
Willie Silva, his manager, came in under a very difficult situation. It would have been difficult at best, even under perfect situations. And Amy Phillips, the manager and wife of Verno Phillips, sharing in his joy.
Yeah, very emotional there because the long wait is over for Verno Phillips. It took some 16 years to win a major world championship belt. Trevor Whitman, his trainer, gives him a big embrace.
The body work became vital in round 6. It was hurting Bojorquez, and there's the left hook downstairs to the body that doubled him over, and it would prove the end. Even though he beat the count in between rounds, they would stop the fight. So Phillips, also a very smart fighter, understood very well by the middle of that round that it was the body work that was doing most of the damage, and he just didn't throw very many shots to the head at that juncture and went to the body repeatedly, and sure enough, it was a left hook downstairs that ended things. And there you see Willie Silva, the concern on his face, and he said no. Willie, very close to Carlos Bojorquez. Willie formerly worked Carlos worked in Willie's tire shop. There, the left hand downstairs to Bojorquez's body. It was one of many good body shots that Verno Phillips threw throughout that round with great leverage, and it would spell the end in a performance that was as technically proficient as you'd like to see, and came in 2 different installments. Early in the fight, Phillips was able to box and jab and do different things. Then later in the fight, he moved inside through uppercuts, left hooks, and body shots. So we saw 3.5 rounds of one kind of fighter, and then 2.5 rounds of another kind of fighter. You can't do much more than that.
Showing his versatility, Verno Phillips, and showing his gallantry, Carlos Bojorquez. The fight is stopped by referee Mark Nelson, and obviously no dispute with that decision. Well, he didn't get his revenge versus Uma, but Verno Phillips will take it, nevertheless.
Denver, Colorado. All my 31s. Oh, Mancho.
Well, how many fighters you know from Belize?
All of them.
That's where he was born. He grew up in Troy, New York, and lives in Aurora, Colorado. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon, Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 6. A referee in charge, Mark Nelson, stops the contest upon suggestion of the corner. The fighter unable to continue. The winner by way of technical knockout. He is the new IBF Junior Middleweight Champion of the World, Verno